Hi, it's Wade, and in our house, it's a Friday night tradition to eat salsa and guacamole. Now, obviously, the avocados are trucked in, and we just don't eat enough lemons to make buying lemons regularly a part of our practice, and we've really found this to be economical to buy this organic lemon juice. We get that from Costco. That's where the avocados come from, too. Frankly, you just can't beat their prices. However, those tomatoes are fresh heirlooms from the garden, so is the cilantro and the jalapeno peppers. Those are ripe jalapenos. Did you know they turn red when they ripen? Most people don't. All they see are those green ones at the grocery store. We'll come right back to this as soon as I get this all chopped up and prepared and give you an idea of how I put it together. Okay, things are moving right along. For onions, I use this progressive onion chopper. The last time I cut myself in the kitchen, it was cutting onions. Same thing with my wife. They're slippery little buggers, and anything you can do to keep your fingers safe is good. All right, so all the chopped up and minced heirloom tomatoes ready to go, and I've already cut the avocados in half. I want to show you a little avocado trick, and we'll do that in a sec. Okay, so getting the avocado out of the husk is a piece of cake once you've had a little practice. You just cut the avocado in half, running around the top side. So I've already done that. And just pull the two halves apart. Use a spoon, big spoon if you can, to scoop the meat right out of the avocado husk. Okay? The other part, the pit, that can be a little bit more tricky. And you're just going to maybe use a knife, just slightly chop it in a little bit, twist, and pull it right out. If you're trying to make slices, then you just run a knife gently through there. Make sure you don't cut through the husk and cut into your hand. It does take a little bit of knife skill. Anyway, just make some slices for the top of a salad or something like that. Same thing, use the spoon, scoop it out. Notice how now we've got some easy slices. Okay? If you're trying to just make guacamole, a little bit easier way to get the husk out or the pit out is just to give it a squeeze. You don't really care what the avocado looks like or that it maintains its shape because you're just going to mash it anyway. Scoop it out and you're good to go. Okay, just 1 tablespoon of lemon juice in the guacamole. This is a pretty big batch of salsa, so I'll probably put 2 tablespoons of lemon juice in there. I've already crushed the garlic and I added the onions. So there's the guacamole, added the tomatoes to that, and there is the salsa. I added the onions and the garlic, just maybe a clove and a half of garlic in the salsa. And once we get this all stirred up, should be pretty good. I'm going to get some jalapenos in there too. I'm going to show you a quick little trick I do with my jalapenos. Rather than cutting them up fresh every time I make guacamole, which is 52 times a year, I actually prep them in a food processor and freeze them. That's going to be another video soon. Alright, so here's my jalapeno trick. I prep them up in a food processor and I freeze them in thin little Ziploc sheets so that I can easily, oh, I say that now, but one-handed can you do it? I easily bust off a little piece, just snap off a piece, and I just let that thaw out while I'm making the guacamole. Okay, piece of cake, and then I just add maybe a teaspoon of jalapeno peppers to the guacamole and mix it in. So there you have it, a pretty good sized batch of guacamole. There's about 5 avocados in there, maybe a half a cup to 3/4 of a cup of diced tomatoes, about a half a cup of diced onions in there, a teaspoon of jalapeno pepper from the freezer, that puree that I showed you, and then there's also a tablespoon of lemon juice. We don't add any salt to the guacamole. We get a lot of salt on our chips. We're a little salt conscious here in the house. I hope you enjoy this. So there's our fresh Pico De Gallo style salsa with heirloom tomatoes. I believe these were Cherokee purples. There's also diced onions in there, fresh cilantro, that's also known as coriander in other cultures. There's 2 cloves of garlic that went through the garlic press, and about a teaspoon and a half of jalapeno peppers that were processed in the food processor and then frozen in Ziploc bags for ease of use. There's another 2 tablespoons of lemon juice. We don't add any salt to this either. I hope you enjoy it.